So, I knew absolutely nothing about the show Yellowjackets until a few months ago. And up until then, I just sort of assumed it was your usual run of the mill psychological thriller show. But then I watched it, and oh man, did I really stumble across something quite special, I think. So please allow me to share my thoughts on Yellowjackets, a show which manages to combine elements of Lost and Twin Peaks with some more classic staples of modern horror, making something quite clever, I think, and fairly unique, if sometimes straying here and there into realms a little bit weird and nonsensical almost. Uh, Yellowjackets is about basically a girls' soccer team whose plane crashes in the middle of nowhere and they are forced to survive. With all that entails, being stuck out there with no food, and it's eventually winter hits, and they have easy access to some corpses. But that description doesn't do the show justice. Because we also have a story taking place in the future, after the girls have already been rescued, in sort of in a manner similar to the famous flashbacks and flash forwards and flash sidewayses of Lost. And really, starting out, the only thing that kind of elevates Yellowjackets, in my opinion, is the acting of the main characters. Right, this group of feral girls who already have problems with each other and don't really get along very well. Like, the hook is these characters now forced to survive in this horrible little clan that inevitably begins to eat itself. Poor choice of words. But I'd say the crux of the show, at least for the first and second season, is sort of one character, that being Natalie, who is in the past is the sort of resident moody goth who's played really very well by I think her name's Sophie Thatcher, who I'd never really seen in anything until Yellowjackets. Maybe was she on a few episodes of the Mandalorian? Uh, can't remember, but she she's in this very exceptional, playing maybe the only truly kind of good sympathetic character in this. The rest have more of a like damaged, self-destructive, like kind of nightmare vibes going on, or right, like sort of bit of karmic justice here, a bit of like descent into madness there, and in the future. Natalie is also played by Juliette Lewis, who arguably does an even better job portraying an even more messed up and depressed character, who nevertheless manages to win my sympathy in a way that some of the other characters don't. Like Shauna. Freaking Shauna. I freaking do not like that character. I dislike her very much with every fiber of my being. She is just absolutely a very cruel, hateful, psychopathic character. This murderous, small minded, just abusive monster of a woman, and. Excuse me. Sorry. Did I mention Christina Ricci is also in this as this bizarre, comical, and also, yes, kind of murderous character, called Misty Quigley, who is maybe my favorite character on the show, despite not really being one to empathize with exactly, on account of her very strong serial killer energy. Um, but just her very fun character just gets only better, and in some ways more ridiculous, when she teams up with Elijah Wood, frickin' Frodo Baggins and Wirt from Over the Garden Wall. In the second season, they team up in this sort of weird Bonnie and Clyde meets Joker and Harley sort of way. Um, and there are ghosts in this show. Did I forget to mention that? Because it feels like I forgot to mention that there are ghosts and the hint that there are monsters. There's such incredible symbolism regarding the Wendigo and other pagan spirits and myths, spirits of hunger and madness and depravity, wound up with allusions to a much more terrible presence looming over these girls. I get almost, it's hard to explain. I get almost an Evil Dead vibe from it, and if that makes any sense at all. Um, but just crucially, there is magic and witchcraft and psychic visions and demonic possession in this. And as you know by now, I eat that stuff up. If the show really has a problem, I'd say it's probably that you'll be waiting a very long time for answers. They they're not fond of explaining things all that much, and it can also be a little bit frustrating watching characters you like or want to like be be sort of turned towards violence and evil and have to do more and more desperate and depraved acts to survive in the wilderness and even in the future a little bit. And also, just a side note, despite the murder and the betrayal and the fear and the hunger and everything, for the vast majority of the show, I'd argue that Ella Purnell's character has a much better time than, say, her character on Fallout, m- mostly. Uh, Lord knows she has a better time than her character on Arcane. At least, never mind. So yeah, if you can tolerate a few annoying characters and a few characters who fall down kind of a dark path, Yellowjackets might be for you. And the third season just started up as of this recording. Um, so yeah, if nothing else, it's given me of a lot of time to think about the sort of magical, symbolic uh, events that occur in the story, and it's given me a lot of inspiration for my own writing, especially the woodsy, creepy, spooky, scary stories that I like so much. So yeah, bye.